I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm D, and this is my little cutie pie, AJ. We're in the studio with Season 5, Episode 34, Lautaro's Legacy. I'm going to be going back to the Spanish Inquisition, so find us on Instagram and Twitter at PointsOPressure.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
You've definitely used cutie pie before. Are you trying to? Are you trying to say something? Are you
I
trying
didn't
to
write anything
to
down.
contact me?
Didn't write anything. This is a very last-minute recording session.
It is. I forgot that we said we were going to do this entirely,
yeah.
so I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Why?
Why are we recording?
Because we're both going to be gone on Sunday.
Oh,
when we normally record. So, how was yesterday?
Okay, actually, I watched a Kit Boga video. You know Kit Boga?
Mm-hmm.
Where he was testing out his algorithm, his machine learning algorithm that talks and communicates to phone scammers. Oh, so I should say he scam baits.
It's
so he
great. It's amazing.
He purposely gets scam calls to waste their time. Because his idea is if I can get somebody on there for an hour, that's an hour they're not scamming some old lady.
Yeah.
Some innocent victim.
Makes sense.
And so he really comes at it from a pretty noble place, it seems like. But yeah, he made a machine learning algorithm that listens to what they say and then responds to it in one of his voies. So he recorded all the voice lines. And one of them...
He's so fucking...
He's a genius.
He's a tech genius, man.
It took 8 minutes and 21 seconds to get 2 American bank accounts from a scammer.
What?
Yeah. Because he was like, well, I can send a wire transfer. I just need your bank information, is what the robot said.
God. He scammed the scammer.
And the guy sent him the message, all the bank information, the account numbers, the routing number, everything. And then he took over. He took off the robot and took over in the same voice and said, I can't use that bank. I got banned from it. Do you have another bank? And the guy fucking sent another bank.
God.
So he reported him and probably got him shut down.
Yeah, for real.
Which is just fantastic.
Damn, dude. I was going to say, so if you haven't watched any of his stuff, he and his team of tech extraordinaires.
He has a team.
I don't know if there's somebody that helped him out in one of the videos that they.
I mean, he has some people on every once in a while.
Yeah, but they built a complete duplicate of Wells Fargo and U.S. Bank or America's Bank or whatever the fuck it is that look exactly like the website. They function just like the website.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't, it's not the website. So, these guys go in, they he, sounding like an old person, logs into some, Wells Fargo, and he gets in there and it's retirement, 400,000 and savings, 48,000. And these guys are like, okay, cool, I'll remote in. And then they go in and the scammers go to, they remote in, they go to, transfer, they put in, send to this person, but it doesn't pull up the drop-down menus. And so these guys get super frustrated, why won't this transfer? Why won't this shit pull up? Because it looks exactly like a regular browser, except it's not.
Yeah, it looks exactly like
phenomenal.
The apps and websites
it works
that are real
exactly the same, except it's just it's just at face value. It's so crazy.
Some of those websites have crazy functionality. Some of them will show you if you go to transfer, it will show the transfer complete.
It's crazy.
And it's all fake money. There's no real money. It just is moving numbers around. And they even got it to the point where earlier on, the scammers started to kind of catch on to the fake website, so they would hit inspect element, and they would be able to see pretty quickly, oh, this is a fake website. So they made it so when you click inspect element, it's the inspect element from the actual website. I'm like, what the fuck? These guys are geniuses.
Crazy. My favorite
Tech geniuses.
My favorite and least favorite thing about his show is that because he'll, like I said, he acts like he's old. He'll put like filters and shit on in case they hack his video camera, or his webcam, and he just dresses up.
Yeah, he doesn't have a webcam attached to the camera.
He has one that like it shows, and it'll look like he's got like this.
That must be more.
Shit.
That must be more.
Like there's one that
recent.
it's a bald filter, and it makes him look like a 60-year-old man.
That's fantastic.
It's hilarious. But they'll go to have him like download this remote app so that they can
viewer or something.
Yeah, and he'll go through for 20 minutes and misspell it. Like they'll spell it out for him letter by letter, and he'll type like .org right at the end. He'll type out .com just as they want him to, and then he'll backspace and type in .org. And they're like, no! And he's like, oh, we'll just try it again. And he erases everything. And it takes like 15 minutes. And it drives me nuts because I'm like, I just want to see what they're trying to do. But he's also trying to waste their time. So it's so satisfying. But I'm just like,
yeah, if he's playing a younger character, a lot of times he'll play like a young woman character, and he'll put a hidden nudes file on his computer full of pictures of a naked mole rat.
Or of like Bigfoot.
Or and shit
so
like that,
good.
so that if they are, scumbaggy enough, because I mean they're scammers, so they are scumbaggy enough.
Some dude did it when he was an old lady, and it's just for extortion.
It's fantastic. He sets up all these little Easter eggs and shit, and a lot of times he'll base some of the scams because he does it on Twitch a lot. I watch his YouTube mostly.
Oh, okay. I love his live streams.
I've never been in the right place at the right time for him.
That's fair.
But they're fantastic. Like, he's a genius. He's doing truly humanitarian work.
He's doing God's work.
He's doing God's work. But yeah, that's what I did today. I watched a couple of his shit. And he will like bitch them out if they do something just completely over the line, which I think is fantastic. Like,
I mean,
he's very much like, how do you feel? How would you feel if this was your grandmother that you just threatened to murder?
Yeah,
like, because he gets them mad. Like, they yell.
Oh, dude, he gets them so pissed.
He got one. Okay, last one, and then we can actually start the episode. But he talked to the scammer for like 5 days.
Ooh.
Like multiple hour-long phone calls as playing a female character. And the guy started to be like, you want to date? Send me some pictures of yourself. So he would Photoshop pictures of himself, but like these guys are pretty tech savvy, the scammers, as much as you can be. Some of them are real idiots, but he's like, I gotta like actually do something and make it not obvious. And the guy was like, FaceTime me. And he's trying to date this fake guy that started off as a scam. So he was like, okay. So he put on his blonde wig. He put on like exaggerated makeup, and then he put his phone. He like dropped the internet speed.
Oh, so it was
super choppy.
Shitty, yeah.
And FaceTimed the guy.
God damn it.
And it was so good. The guy did not catch on.
That's amazing.
It's fantastic.
I love it. It's impressive. Kit Boga, Kitboga, if you guys are ever interested. It's definitely worth like having on in the background at the very least.
Yeah, and he's not. There are a lot of scam baiters who are like, oh, we took down this call center. Oh, we did this. No, he's very humble. He's just like he's doing amazing shit.
Yeah,
and he's just like, yeah, I just
impressive.
I just wouldn't want it to be my grandmother. So I wouldn't want it to be anybody's grandmother who gets targeted by these guys. It's fantastic.
Point.
It's really good. It's very inspiring. It makes me want to pick up those phone calls.
Right.
To see what I could do.
Worth it. You should start to.
So how was your yesterday?
It'll go super, super well for you. It was good. I didn't really do much. I worked and then just played a bunch of video games.
Hell yeah.
And AJ trolled some dude on Twitch, so
I got banned.
yeah, AJ got banned by this guy that we killed on fucking.
He was a little
Tarkov.
bitch
He was a
boy.
bitch. He was a
little baby.
A fucking
He's like, yeah, army vet.
yeah. a little
But I
vet
made
baby.
fun of him getting his butt destroyed.
Yeah, he got fucking wrecked,
and he could not take it. And it wasn't like I was being egregious.
no,
He was
just
like,
being honest.
"Oh, they killed me with BP rounds. That's so stupid." So like,
yeah, it's like,
those
well,
rounds they reign supreme.
Yeah.
They didn't even damage your armor. And then he banned me. I'm like, wow,
he
what a
wasn't
he was
happy
also fucking spitting dip into a bottle
Yeah,
all stream.
the
I'm
whole
like, that's
time.
disgusting.
So yeah, it was
It was good.
yesterday was pretty good. Today just work, and then I was tired as shit after and fell asleep. So
Nice.
and here we are.
Here we are.
So we're gonna take a trip.
We're gonna be
back
talking
to
about Bolsonaro.
Bolsonaro. No, we're going back to the mid 1500s. It's right around our last trip to South America when we visited the golden shores of Guatavita. Season 4, episode 25, if you want to learn about the Spain basically draining a lake to find,
Oh, yeah.
to find
There we
gold
go.
at the bottom. But we're going a little bit more south, and we're going to slip into Chile. The Spanish Inquisition at the time had burned through a bunch of different tribes, and they were focusing their sights on the Mapuche tribe, Mapuche Indian
Perfect.
tribe. And in one of the towns, they pushed in, they captured a shit ton of people, one of which was a boy by the name of Lautaro. And I'm going to fuck his name up throughout the entire thing. And it means Swift Hawk. Like, this dude,
that's a badass
it's a
name.
cool-ass name for an 11-year-old kid. And
That 11-year-old kid better have light up Skechers.
yeah,
Hell
for real. 1550, fuck yeah, you know it. So he gets captured, and he's basically turned into a slave with the Spaniards. And the thing to do at the time for the Spaniards was to, like, if they found somebody that they found promising, and they were like, so they would go through all the people they captured, pull off the ones that they were like, oh yeah, they're either young and able, or they have some sort of like value per se. They would pull them off to the side, and then everybody else, they would cut off their feet and hands. They would cut off their hands, and it was like a whole symbolic torture for raising their hands up against the Spanish Inquisition. And then they would cut off their feet so that they couldn't escape, and then they'd just leave them to like fucking die. So they do this to Lautaro's parents right in front of him.
Okay, if this isn't like the backstory to our hero,
Yeah,
I don't know what is. This is
really,
perfect.
though.
Great setup.
It is a phenomenal
This
setup.
is like a Star Wars.
And this isn't
storyline.
even the end. Like this feels like a just blockbuster film. Like,
Yeah, like, this
going
is
through
just
this
cool.
whole thing, I was just like, damn, dude. And I wasn't even gonna do a story on him. I was gonna do it on another guy in the future named Galvarino, who has a super kick-ass name, but is also just a total badass, and it led me to this guy. So
Awesome.
Let's see. So they cut off his parents' hands and feet, and the other standard was to cut off the toes of Mapuche Indians. I have no idea why. I'm guessing the Spaniards
fetish.
just had a weird little like foot and toe fetish. They'd sprinkle them over their salads.
No,
I
they
don't know.
they made a bunch of necklaces.
Little toe necklaces. And Lautaro is enslaved for right around 3 years. Now, after he hit like the age of 14 or 15, after those 3 years of just doing basically servant shit for, I don't know if I have his name anymore. But he was just doing servant shit for like the Spanish general at the time. And when he hit a certain age, he was expected to assist in battles. So you can't, I mean, the Spanish Inquisition was like, oh, we're not just going to send these like these fucking guys out there without knowing what we're going to do, because if you don't train the people that are going to be in battle with you and they don't understand your movements, it's just a clusterfuck, and then it's easier for them to switch sides and fuck you up. So, let's see. Oh, Valdivia is who he was serving. And so he fucking hated this guy. This dude took everything from him, and he took him from his home. So
killed his parents, his family.
Yeah, so and like led the push to kill his family, to take his homeland.
Now let's train this guy.
Yeah, right. So he manages to hide his hatred for Valdivia, and he eventually kind of gets on his good side. And this is where Valdivia is like, well, you're going to train in battle. You're 15. You can do this. It'll be fine. So it starts out with him taking care of his horses.
Okay, hold on. So they found a guy, murdered his entire family and village, and said, that guy with major, like, main character energy, character name.
For real.
Let's train him. Allow him to get close.
The thing is, the way that his name was pronounced, I'm doing my best to pronounce it how it was when he was born. But the Spaniards actually changed his name because they couldn't pronounce it properly. They were like, you're Lautaro. And so that's why the spelling, because I have no idea what the spelling is. Like, I don't know what the fuck Mapuche wrote their language. But let's see, it's Lautaro. Lautaro is what the Spanish would call him. And that's what he's known as across all of his stories and everything. So it's better for search engine optimization.
Oh, nice.
So Spaniards, they were just shitty people. And yeah, you're right. You don't fucking rip somebody from their home and then go, hey, we're going to put you on a battlefield. My guess is that because of what they were doing to everyone's families and their friends, it was mainly just like a fear thing that if I act up and I turn, I lose my hands and feet and I die a very, very slow death. And so it was kind of, especially with like a kid, an 11-year-old kid that watches his entire tribe get decimated and killed in front of him slowly. I'm sure the last thing in their mind is like, oh yeah, this guy's going to rise up. So Valdivia starts with having him take care of like his horses. He'll have him accompany him on like trainings and expeditions, and Lautaro is just absorbing everything.
Good.
He's like, this is everything that I fucking need. And so eventually he's taught how to use different weapons, how the Spanish do their formations, how the cavalry moves forward in battles. He ends up learning how to ride horses, which wasn't standard in that area. Horses weren't a very common thing for battle. And so he learns how to ride one, and he's like, okay, like,
hella.
This is interesting.
He learns where every Spaniard's weakness is.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the prostate.
Yeah, the prostate. And he basically learns all of the Spaniards' cavalry tactics. Now, after his first failed attempt at escape, he gets out and he realizes, I don't know enough to go back and teach everyone at home what the Spaniards are doing. So it's thought that he just kind of willingly gives himself up and is like, hey, I'm really sorry. I'll just fight in your battles.
That was a test run.
Yeah. So he goes back for 3 more years. And let's see. Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 more years. And he just fucking absorbs everything about the Inquisition. And so his second escape attempt is at 19. And when he returns, to the Mapuche tribe, they basically make him like an assistant to the general, because he shows up and they're like, oh, you got away from him. And he says, yeah, these are who my parents were. This is the tribe that I was in. Also, I know everything about how they run their operations.
Yeah, I know their tactics, like what exactly they're going to do.
Exactly. And so these guys are like, yeah, we'll put you at the highest fucking rank possible. So he starts working under the leader Capulacan, and I'll be talking about him in a couple weeks when I return to this subject. And Lautaro gets to work and he starts teaching the Mapuche everything he learns, but he teaches them how to defend against it.
Perfect.
So, let's see. Why is it doing this?
Are your notes all messed up?
Yeah, it deleted like half of my fucking notes.
Hit back. Hit undo. You got this. I know you can figure it out.
Okay, cool. That's fixed. Never mind. So basically the best way to defeat the Spanish Inquisition is by utilizing guerrilla war tactics.
Perfect.
Because this is the 1500s. This is you march in a fucking straight line and you walk straight forward until you're told to stop, and it's just it's a very like two sides of battle go at each other.
Well, at this point it was the Inquisition had guns.
Yep.
Or the conquistadors had guns and horses and armor.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just two sides lining up. That would be England and the Spanish fighting. At this point it's basically been just slaughter.
Yeah.
Like if you try to go out and charge them, you're just going to get shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a lot of the indigenous tribes
really
would fight.
A good way
hand to hand, bow and arrow, like blow darts, which were badass. If you ever look at indigenous blow darts, they're fucking badass. But shit like that, like when you try to do those tactics to people who have cavalry and guns,
they have
metal armor.
You figure they've got cavalry, they've got it's basically a more rudimentary fucking musket. But it's still way more effective than a slingshot, which is what the Mapuche tribes are running with. Mapuche tribes have wooden spears, clubs, fucking wooden swords, and rock hatchets
and knives
and slingshots, and that's the extent. And whatever they've managed to rip off of the bodies of the conquistadors before. That they happen to, if anyone survives and is like, hey, here's a fucking conquistador sword, it goes to the best person in the tribe.
Yeah, so once again, we realize that to defeat overwhelming odds, you switch to guerrilla warfare.
Fuck yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Always. That's always the answer.
That's always a good approach. So, yeah, he teaches these guys, we're going to hide in the fucking trees.
Fuck yeah.
When we know they're approaching, we're going to slip into the bushes, and then we're all going to, we'll ambush them. We'll slip into their ranks and everything and kill them from behind so that they aren't getting shot, because it takes a long fucking time to reload these guns.
If you get close.
This isn't a quick process. And so if you can take that line out and then just absorb, easy as hell to kill them off. So.
Yeah, I've played Age of Empires too.
Yeah, right? So the Mapuche tribe gets 6,000 men together. And
damn,
they put them behind Lautaro, and they say, go back and take the fort that you were enslaved in.
Hell yeah.
So
they give him a nice goal.
Yeah, they basically give him just a do whatever the fuck you want
get results.
Right? As long as you kill Spaniards, we're cool with it. So he takes these 6,000 men, and they take the Spanish fort in no time at all, forcing Spain to retreat, which is unheard of at this time. Spain has just been trampling all over South America with no issue at all. And yeah, they absolutely decimate this camp. They take it over, and Valdivia, he retreats, and then he basically gets some people as backup, and they come back to take the Spanish fort again, basically to take it back from those who took it back, and they get surrounded almost immediately.
Hell yeah.
Valdivia gets captured, and he gets slaughtered on Christmas Day,
1933.
400 years later, 1553.
Merry
He's
Christmas.
fucking killed. Yeah, it's a Christmas episode. So...
Bitch, you didn't think
Yeah, right.
last week was an October Spooktober episode?
Right.
Now we're on
skipped
Christmas.
3 months, bitch. So the standard response for winning a war for the Mapuche people is to party like it's 1999. To party like it's 1599, man. And they party for like weeks.
Hell yeah.
And Lautaro is kind of conflicted on this because he's like, look, we need to keep going.
Yeah, like
if
we didn't win.
Stop, they're just going to come back stronger.
Yeah. We only took one fort. Like, we need to keep fucking moving.
And he's like, and we need to keep recruiting people. We need to go to the other smaller tribes and get more people so that we can fucking destroy Spain. So... it only took 2 months of partying for them to recruit 2,000 more people. But Lautaro ends up getting his army to 8,000 troops.
That's not bad for that time
fucking
period. That's
massive.
awesome.
Yeah. And so they're pushing to get the next Spanish camp, Concepcion. And so they go on this hill just above the camp. And the Spanish see them outside, and they're like, oh, well, ready your weapons.
Get the muskets.
Let's go fucking get them. So the Spaniards start up the hill, and...
First mistake.
Yeah, right? 4,000 Mapuche rush down the hill into the front lines of the conquistadors. And... Spain manages to hold the line pretty well. It gets pushed back a little bit at the start, but it's because they have much better weapons.
Yeah.
So Spain kind of holds their line, and just as they start to advance a little bit, Lautaro signals for 2,000 more men to rush in. 2,000 very, very fresh soldiers to run in.
Against the
and they
already kind of beaten...
The fucked up front line,
yeah.
And they push that line way, way back. And just as Spain kind of starts to hold instead of gaining ground, just when it starts to slow down for the Mapuche, 2,000 more men jump from out of the trees and in the flanks.
Viet Cong style. Hell
and
yeah.
surround the fuck out of the Spaniards at the bottom of this hill.
Did it happen again?
No. I lost
okay.
my place because I reading about it. I was like, "Oh, this is so fucking thematic! Like, it's so cool."
It's very like this dude learned the maneuvers of the Spaniards and said, "Those aren't good enough. Let's do it better."
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna
100% one-upped them. Like
the thing is, the worst thing they did was kill his parents in front of him.
Yeah. Which, that's kind of obvious.
Yeah, and it's just like, instead of it causing this fear in Lautaro, it radicalizes the fuck out of him, and he goes, okay, I'm going to get you back. And
yeah, I don't care how long it takes.
He holds on to it for 8 fucking years. He's a 19-year-old that's leading a fucking army,
Yeah,
dude.
like, what the fuck was I doing when I was 19? Nothing.
Yeah. Masturbating frequently.
Yeah, like... what the fuck?
So hours of fighting go past, and eventually there's just a handful of Spaniards that are left. So they book it the fuck out of there. They barely get free with their lives, and they run back to where they were taught to go, which is at the Biobío River. And they get there, and they can't really cross the bridge because Lautaro had sent a group of men to destroy the fucking bridge that they would cross.
That
so
is
these men
guerrilla
are...
warfare 101. Cut off the route of their retreat before they even retreat.
So they are completely cut off. These guys are totally fucked. And the partying begins once again. And they're not partying in the huge fort that they had just taken. They all go back, party back at home, and Lautaro, he's upset a little bit by it because he's
they need more progress.
Well, yes, but they haven't destroyed that fucking fort. So he goes out on his own to the abandoned fort, Concepcion, and he burns it to the fucking ground single-handedly. Comes
Rather
back
than
home,
just occupying it, which I'm guessing it was a European-designed fort, so it was built to be defended with guns.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they had kept it, like, it wouldn't have done much.
Yeah. So,
That's badass.
He burns it to the ground, returns home,
and then he parties.
He says, we still aren't done. And he's ready to fucking go.
Do it again.
And unfortunately... So about a year goes by that he's having, like, he lost not a lot of his troops, but a good amount of men. And so they've got to recruit. They've got to get their numbers back up. And in 1554, the Spaniards introduced biological warfare by bringing the Spanish flu to fucking...
God damn it. It's
or
always
not
the
Spanish flu. They bring smallpox to the Mapuche tribe. And this is in the form of
That's
prisoners.
against the Geneva Convention.
This is in the form of, like, prisoners that they've taken over the course of the year. Spaniards that have run into them or anything. People are starting to get sick. Men aren't able to go out because they've got to take care of their families because their wives are dead, or men are dying of smallpox. And so this kind of gives Spain time to gain ground back. And so about 2 years after the initial fight of Concepcion, Spain comes back. And
Spam.
Yeah, Spam. They come back and they go back to where Concepcion was, and they go, okay, well, I mean, they're not here. They didn't occupy it. Let's build it back up.
Jesus.
So just as they get started to rebuild, Lautaro takes 400 soldiers, and they siege the fuck out of it while the walls are still down, while they're still constructing everything, and only, like, less than 40 Spaniards avoid dying. They kill fucking everyone there. So over the next year, Spain has taken a major step back. And a lot of Mapuche have kind of seen, they're not coming after us nearly as much as they were before. So why don't we leave things up to peace? Why don't we also step back and just let's have peace talks? Let's take it easy.
No.
I know. I completely agree, because Spain is only sitting just to build their numbers. There's a reason the Spanish Inquisition lasts 200 years.
They have to get reinforcements by ship.
Yeah, exactly. They have to cross the fucking Atlantic
time on a glorified raft.
Yeah, seriously. It's just like, this is the time to push. However, a lot of these men have watched families fucking crumble because of smallpox. So they're doing peace talks isn't going to stop the spread of smallpox. I know, but a lot of them are like, we want time with our families and shit. It's unfortunate, but it's what happened. They saw so much fucking death over the last 3-4 years, most of which wasn't even during wartime, wasn't in battle. They're just watching their own people die, and they're like, what the fuck do we do? Enjoy the time we have, I guess. And so Lautaro is left with 600 men. His numbers are down. And his main goal is to take Santiago, which is just basically Spain's headquarters in Chile. And so he takes these 600 men, and they go and set up a camp just outside Mataquito at a river, which is basically like a suburb of Santiago in a way at the time.
Yeah, 1500 suburb. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So they set up, and Spain gets word that they're there, that they're planning on attacking. And so Spain sends out their first group of men. And I mean, the Mapuche are completely outnumbered.
Yeah, there's not a shitload you can do.
Yeah, but they hold the line.
Nice.
And so Spain sends out another fleet of men. Mapuches hold the fucking line.
Damn.
They only lose 200 men. They're down to 400, and they hear that another wave of Spaniards is on their way. So they go, we're retreating. Let's get the fuck out of here. And they start getting chased by the conquistadors. And Lautaro, as they're getting away from Spain, he says, jump into the jungle. We'll hide in the bushes. We'll hide in the trees. We'll hide, and we'll just watch as they pass. And so,
genius.
So they hop in. They all hide. Spain's men run right past, and they all slowly come out of the brush, and they go back to their little camp at Mataquito. And they get ready to go take fucking Santiago again. So they're prepping everything. They've got to get their weapons ready. They've got to fucking heal up. And just as they get close enough to begin another assault on Santiago, they notice that there's a small group of Spaniards that's come back.
No!
Apparently word got out that Spain sent men to fight, to hold the Mapuche up for just long enough for the entire army to turn around. So I know it was worded really weird, but word gets out that the Mapuche have set up, or they gave them the slip, and so Spain sends a handful of dudes over, like on a death mission, more or less. And they're like, you're basically just going to attack them so that they can't go into Santiago. And
it's going to slow them down.
Just fucking eviscerate everyone because the Mapuche are insane. And so it slows these guys down just for 2 huge battalions to turn around and basically hit the Mapuche from where they previously were. And these 2 battalions run into each other, and they say, hey, we've got a guy that knows where the Mapuche home spot is, not just where the army is. So they send a good amount of people over to the tribe's home, and then the rest of them go up and go after Lautaro. And it was a fucking rival tribesman that gave it up.
Oh,
too.
bastard.
Like a bitch. So, unfortunately, Lautaro puts up a hell of a fight. I mean, these guys are outnumbered like 30-1, basically. Like, this is 400 men fighting off basically 2 full battalions of Spaniards.
Yeah, there's not a ton they can do except make them bleed on the way down.
Right. And yeah, both camps get ambushed. He manages to fight for as long as he can, but he died in April 1557.
Was it in battle or was
Yep, it was in battle. Yeah, it was in that battle just outside of Santiago. And yeah, he's
stuck with it. God damn.
Yeah, as far as I remember, he's beheaded. I'm not positive. But yeah, April 1557, he dies, and he goes down as the first general of Chile.
Hell
He's
yeah.
regarded as the first Chilean general.
What a great way
Just
to
a
be
total
remembered. Like, that's badass.
And then in the 1700s into the 1800s, Latin America was kind of going through like an independence streak. And there was a secret society, a secret Latin American independent society that they built a lodge, and they called it Lautaro's Lodge. And that's where they would hold their meetings to claim independence and everything.
Oh, that's even more badass.
Super cool. And the one fact that I know you're really going to love about this, he is one of the leaders in a Civilization 6 expansion.
Oh, that's actually pretty badass.
He leads the Mapuche. His special ability is he decreases the enemy city loyalty when they kill a unit or pillage tiles in the enemy border. It is fucking
that's pretty badass.
accurate as to what he was doing.
One.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Like what a way to be remembered. You know what, 400 or 500 years later or something.
Yeah, just
long time later. Like that's a long. I'm not going to be remembered
though. Like
that much in the future.
We're not going to be in Civ 6. We're not going to be in Civ 27.
Yeah, Sid Meier's Civilization 45.
Right.
Like
so. Yeah.
Here's what a
to
badass.
You, Lautaro.
You know what?
Fucking crazy.
I'm going to say that. Here's to you, first Antifa general.
It's fair.
Yeah,
it's
he was
very
going
fair.
against the Christo-fascists.
He
You
is.
know, the conquistadors.
Fucking...
I mean, they weren't really Christians, but the Catholic-fascists. It doesn't sound as good.
But the worst part about this story is that it just goes to show that no one expects a Spanish Inquisition, and I hate it.
I was trying to avoid.
It's so fucking. I hate.
You saying
I
that.
hate how true it is, though. It's just like fuck that saying and how accurate it was for everyone in that area at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, badass. You need
Super
to do
badass.
more episodes that could be a mission in Age of Empires.
The next one coming up will be pretty similar.
Good.
But yeah. So
Badass.
you got Patreon pulled up?
Nope.
If you're listening to this a couple weeks ago, last Thursday, I don't know. We've released the September episode finally. I know that when you're listening to this, it will be October, but the September episode on Patreon
we said it
is
last
out.
week, too.
I know, just as a reminder.
Oh, okay.
And we'll have another exclusive coming up. This time it's AJ's turn, so
fuck.
strap in for something.
I'm gonna
cool.
try to find something spooky in World War II.
And let's see, today, the day that this is released, start of October, we are planning a pretty big Halloween thing. We've got some works in mind.
Some guests,
Got
maybe
some ideas. We're planning on live streaming it once
hoping,
again.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes out, or you keep your eyes peeled.
Hey, if you have any spooky stories,
Yeah, reach out.
experiences, send them to us.
Or something that you know. Like,
we did that. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but we had like a couple people submit spooky stories.
yeah, same
and
thing.
I love that shit. Please, if you know somebody who has a spooky story, if you
or
have
if
a
you
spooky
just
story,
know a good spooky
or
story.
if you know a good
You're
spooky
just like,
story,
hey, this is kind of scary, and I'd like to hear your take on it.
send it to us.
Yeah, send it in.
please, and we'll talk about it during the thing. Because I'm hoping this goes for a couple hours, so that
Yeah,
we're going to
planning
start
on-
early enough so that our European friends can potentially join in, maybe listen if you come say hi.
Yeah, we've got our fingers crossed.
We're going to go for a couple hours probably.
and hopefully we'll get it set up so that it's very easily accessible. I know previously it was like we had to send links out and everything. We'll get a good announcement out there. We will hype it up over the next couple of weeks.
We'll
Keep
also
your eyes out.
I figured out we can just post a link to our as an episode.
Oh, okay.
So all we need is like a 5-second audio clip, and then we can actually just post a link onto it that says, hey, today,
Go to
click
this
here.
fucking link.
And we can premiere the stream so that you can
Oh,
go
yeah, that's
to it
right.
before
And get ready for
and
us to
know
hop
when
on.
it's going to start, so you know where it's going to be ahead of time.
Yeah.
So
It won't be on Halloween. We're planning on it being
day or two
like
before.
the Saturday before. So yeah, keep your eyes out. We'll get the announcement out and shit, and then watch out for that.
Yeah, watch out.
And that's not just for Patreon
No,
subscribers.
that's
for
everybody.
everybody. We want you guys to be able to tune in and fucking talk to us live.
Hell yeah.
All right, you got Patreon?
I guess so. All right. Patreon.com/points of pressure. You get a free full-color, full-length episode every month. All our other little side projects and stuff on there. We have quite the back catalog on there. I was going through it.
We're getting there,
to see if, do some reviews, some doxing reviews.
Right.
Yeah. So, of course, we have the board. They keep the lights on. They make all the decisions. So if you don't like something, take it up with them.
Yeah.
Mini D, Nordic Thunder, and Toddle Waddle. Thank you guys so much for letting us keep doing this. Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Haley, Thomas, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, and Laura Rovo. Thank you guys so much. And everybody listening, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Hey, people in my class at school, don't complain about my podcast at school, okay?
That happened?
Just a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're like, all he does is complain for the first 15 minutes of each episode about how crappy his clinical was.
Oh, God.
Or about who he hates in school or whatever.
Well, stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
So, you. No, I'm just your classmates.
Jaren.
Yeah, Jaren, you fucking bitch ass.
He also knows your real name.
That's fair. Fuck. Jaren's going to dox me. So, as usual, if you ever have any show ideas, you find an article that you like, TV show, movie, book, music, anything that you would like to send our way, by all means, reach out to us on Instagram and Twitter at @PointsOFPressure, and we will catch you guys next Monday.